Tripping Aquafina, I'm sipping 15, kept a weapon on me.
Yo, what up? Welcome to the D's on Docs. On today's episode, we're going to be just doing a Q&A. I asked you guys on my Instagram to ask me some questions to be featured in the next D's on Doc. I think I could do these more frequently because this doesn't take too much, just a little bit of time, some editing, and some coffee. I am tired. I'm just going to rip off some questions. If I didn't get to your question, I am so sorry. I had about at least a few hundred questions. So I just picked a few. If I would have answered them all, this video would be over a few hours. So we're just going to pop into it and yeah, let's go. So here's the first question, and it reads, do you think paintball will ever reach the popularity of other sports? That's a very difficult question because the public perception of paintball, and you could ask anybody on the street, is it's more of like a war game. Like you're shooting guns at each other and you're portraying war, right? But the people who know, the people who play speedball, the people who see this side of paintball that I play, we're trying to make it spectator friendly, to be on that Super Bowl NBA type level where it's like very, very exciting to watch. And if you're very immersed into it, then it like is super cool to know and experience that feeling of winning a point, shooting someone, or making an awesome play. But like I said, to the public perception, if it continues to be like a war sport, a war gun oriented sport, it's just difficult to get that popular. And the next thing goes on to the focal point, and I've explained this multiple times and it's been addressed in videos. The focal point of paintball is very difficult to understand if you don't watch the sport until you understand the rules and you're explained it multiple times. My father didn't really understand the sport of paintball until, I don't know, like a few years ago, and I've been playing for 14, 15 years, you know? So for it to take that long for him to understand it is difficult. So for somebody like on the street to understand it without having any general information prior to it, it's just it's a hard sell. So we all hope one day. I think a good way that the sport could get popular is just to continue to get people on the field. So you guys out there who have buddies who've never played, who've been wanting to play, you know, taking them out there is what grows the sport. Myself, as well as other professional players, stepping up to grow social media and putting paintball in front of people's faces constantly is huge. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people still who don't know that this is a sport, and even people like me exist to them, like professionals. I get it all the time.
You play professional paintball? I didn't know that was a thing.
Like I've gotten that so many times. So yeah, that's my take on that question. Let's move on to the next one. All right, this question reads, what paintball skill do you think everyone can always improve on? I think the biggest one that people can improve on is running and shooting. I think that's one of the hardest things to master because I don't think you can ever be extremely perfect at it. It's just learning how to stabilize your core while you're running and shooting effectively. A lot of people in divisionals think that running and shooting to the corner and shooting back at the back center, stuff like that, like they feel as if like, yeah, I could run and shoot there, but are you effectively putting the paint back at the spot you need to? So then what I usually tell them is I set up one target and I tell them, I want you to shoot 1 to 4 paintballs at this thing while you run from 10 to 15 feet. Then when they realize how difficult it is to actually run and shoot effectively, that's when people understand that running and shooting is one of the most difficult things, in my opinion, to master. Some of the best runners and shooters out there, regardless of how good they are, it is still so many factors and variables that they need to get dialed in before they can get that shot on. So I think running and shooting, you can never be extremely perfect at it, but yeah, I think running and shooting. This next question reads, what is the best ways to make connections with people in paintball? I think this comes down to making friends, finding commonalities. I've met a good amount of people through social media. I've met a good amount of people just going to the paintball field and seeing that they're on the same journey as me to become pro. And I think that's it. Don't be shy when you go to paintball fields, make friends, make compliments. If you see a group of people that you want to kind of befriend, don't be afraid to go out there and screen to see if, you would even like hanging out with those people. So it's all about making friends out there and being social. And I think a lot of paintball players are antisocial, and they kind of just stay into their own bubble. But if you want to make it farther in the sport, I can't deny that networking is going to make you and break you. For example, the opportunity that I had to play on Houston Heat came through networking. If I would have never met Yaya at the paintball field, I never would have had the opportunity to play for Distortion. And if I didn't play on Distortion, I would have never had the opportunity to play on Aftershock. And I would never have had the opportunity to win my first pro event to skyrocket us to Houston Heat. So it all comes around. So the two consistencies that I think is you work hard and you network harder. You make friends and you play really well, and you'll get respect. And when you gain that respect, then you can make the right moves to be where you want to be. All right, this next question is first timer getting into tourneys, most important steps to take. Okay, so the first one, I'm going to break it down to 3 steps. The first one would be preparation of your equipment. So making sure you have extra batteries, making sure you have your marker and stuff is lubed and ready to go, and making sure that it works properly, no leaks, no nothing. Making sure that your paint is, not breaking in your marker, and maybe you'd have to switch out to different paintballs, depending on the tournament that you're playing. Maybe if they have other paint options. Making sure you have squeegees to make sure your barrel's clean. Clear lenses for your goggles if it's raining or if it's dark out, lids for your loaders if it's raining as well. Those small things to make sure your equipment's working properly is huge steps to take before the tournament. The next thing to go into it is making sure that your team is all on the same page and wanting to execute a certain play, and what you're trying to do. Like if you guys are trying to key up on shooting the Dorito side off the break, well, make sure you have the proper people shooting the Dorito side off the break or the snake side. So making sure your team is all on the same page. And then I think the third thing is to show up early and be prepared as far as scheduling. Tournaments go fast. And if you're not on the field and you're not ready and you're flustered trying to run on the field because you didn't know you were supposed to be on the field at this certain time, that is going to make or break your entire tournament. So make sure you get there early and you stay prepared, and you go to the tournament and you talk to whatever it's the captain's meeting or the tournament officials to ask and tell them, it's my first tournament. I need to know some information. What do we need to do? When do we need to be on the field? What time do we need to be in the pits, etc. So make sure you show up early and you get all the info you need, so that way you guys aren't scrambling and just kind of lollygagging around, because tournaments are serious, and that's where that's where the money is. That's where you start to progress and learn. So take it seriously, and so those 3 preparation things hopefully help you. All right, this next question reads, which pro paintball player inspired you to become a pro? I will attribute it to one, but it definitely was multiple, and the multiple is the people in the area growing up who played tournament paintball. It wasn't so much the pro player that I'm about to name in my earlier careers. It was me being exposed to watching high-level players play, even if they were divisional players, watching them gunfight, watching them run and shoot, watching them dive into the snake. That was like, damn, dude, these guys are sweaty. Like, these guys are good at what they do. I want to be like this one day. But then when I got exposed to Oliver Lang, and I saw the intensity in his gameplay, I was like, wow, like I want to be like that one day. I want to play and have that feeling of being at the top, and having that heart and that desire to, be on the podium one day. So Oliver Lang, if you guys, for the newer generation who don't know who he is, he's definitely one of the most influential, if not the most influential paintball player that I, in my generation, encountered. But also for the people who know who he is, I mean, he's, he obviously doesn't play anymore, but he was the GOAT at the time, and there's a lot of people who sit at a round table who can say that their name is elite and who helped them get into the sport. But for me, it was Oliver. This next one is a little plug. Why isn't everyone following me on Twitch? Well, my Twitch is right here. Make sure you guys follow me if you guys want to see me play video games and hang out with me and ask me questions like this anytime you guys want. So you don't have to wait for me to do this and not even answer your question. So coming to my Twitch, I try to stream 5 days a week. It's going to be hard with these upcoming events and when I'm out of town. So when I'm home, I'll be streaming. And when I'm not home, obviously I'll be trying to answer over Instagram. So yeah. This next question is from a pro NFL player himself asking me, what is the mentality like being a pro player? I'm sure, Chris, you have plenty of insight on this yourself, being successful in your craft. But for me, my mentality of being a pro player is just to keep pushing myself to do the uncomfortable, to do the extra. Oh, I got it. It's stay ready so you never have to get ready. So when people say like, oh, a tournament's coming up, I have to get ready. It's like, I've been ready, like put me out there now. I'm ready to go, So even through quarantine, like I didn't stop working out. I've worked out at least 3 to 5 times a week and played paintball as much as I could when I had the opportunity to come. So it's really putting yourself out there and doing your best and doing your all. And even fighting through the pain. All right, so that's going to wrap up this questions and answers. I'm going to try to do some more of these with the team next week. I leave Wednesday to meet up with the Houston Heat boys, and we got a huge practice out there, so I'm going to have plenty of content of paintball for you guys. Yeah, I got a gear bag video that I want to come out with, but I want to wait until I get all the equipment for the season that we're going to be using. So within the next month or so, I just want to make sure everything's up to date and have the gear that I'm going to be using for the whole year. Because obviously the gear that I have now is still from last season because we haven't done a team meetup or had our first tournament yet. So I want to wait for like our new jerseys to come in, whatever else we got coming out, and if there's any new products coming out that we're going to have. So be expecting a gear bag video, obviously, by the next month or so. But yeah, this was supposed to go out Friday, but I had to be honest, like I didn't have anything to put up. So I wanted to do a questions and answers for you guys. And I continue to keep putting out consistent content. It's going to be difficult next week because I won't really have internet because we're going to be at Nico's Ranch again. So I might have to drive myself to a Starbucks to upload some vlogs, but I appreciate all the support from you guys. I want to give back to you guys and keep giving you guys knowledge to play this amazing sport of paintball. So that's pretty much it. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. I gotta sneeze so bad. Oh my God. Allergies or something.